Okay, so part one, I was talking about how this whole thing is set up, and if you didn't see that, go and check it out. I noticed that I've been banging this around a little bit, and I'm a little off-center there, and of course now that changed my balance. So the one thing that I didn't talk about in the first video, and that is these counterweights. And normally I hold these, I put a bungee on there to actually hold that on. It's a Smallrig counterweight set. The clamp is actually for a phone, but I got these 100-gram, 3 of them, counterweights on there. I did use, and if you don't have the counterweights, you can also use Canon batteries, like the LP6 battery, and I have a couple little extra ones, but anyway, that balances it out. It works fine when, you know, when you're out moving around. Now, how do I use the camera on the Ronin? I don't do a lot of, I'm not doing like big running and gunning cinematic sequences. I'm doing just cinematic stuff where I'm using it for panning. I couldn't bring a slider with me here, so I said, well, if I can't bring a slider, the next best thing that I can bring is the Ronin, and, you know, do the nice slow pans, and pans where it, you know, you can pan and move down at the same time, or pan and move up, different things like that. I got 3 goals in mind for this camera for this trip to Thailand. I'm here for 30 days, and I'm on the island for 10 days, and then the rest of the time I'm out in other parts of Thailand. And I thought it would be the perfect time. I have nothing to do here other than just be here and travel. It's kind of like a vacation. I got to go to some family events and things like that. But anyway, I thought it would be a perfect time to learn how to use the camera with not a whole lot of distractions. At the same time, the one drawback to it is I am in a very stripped down situation. So like right now, I can't even show you any like cinematic sequences that I'm shooting, because I can't even view them myself except in camera. I'm shooting to this hard drive, and then I'm dumping everything off to another hard drive for backup, and I can shoot stuff with my Osmo Action and my Osmo Pocket and edit that in Adobe Rush app in the phone, but I don't have a laptop with me. I just have my phone, my tablet, and that's it. So and I do have Wi-Fi, but it's kind of sketchy and it goes in and out. Now the one thing I forgot to mention in the first video is how I'm set up here on the Ronin is I keep the Ronin base plate locked in position, and I have a Smallrig quick release, I guess you call it. It slides back and forth, and I'll use that to pop it off and take it over and put it on my makeshift monopod that I made. And the monopod works actually pretty good too, because I have a little ball head on it. You can see right here and in this photo. And with that ball head, if you're really careful and just easy, I mean, you only need to get like a 10-second pan when you're shooting 60 frames per second. And 60 frames per second is very forgiving with little subtle, very subtle movements, jitters. So it works good. It works very good. And other than that, let's see. Shooting to the SSD, no problems with that. No drop frames. I'm shooting 6K. Let's see, which one am I shooting? I'll go into kind of the numbers. I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff about the camera. I don't know if you can see that right there, but I'm shooting 6K. I'm shooting the what is it, 2.4 to 1, and I'm shooting 12 to 1 up here, and I'm shooting constant bit rate, and I usually shoot 60 frames per second. And so just to give you an idea, that's 6K. That is windowed, I believe. And let me see, is it windowed? Yes, that's windowed, and it's 6144 by 2560. Now I do shoot into 2K to get my 120 frames per second for the really super slow-mo, but I have no problem. Now I can go and shoot in the full 6K to this SSD, no problems at all. As far as power, again, with the Ronin powering the camera, I can shoot for upwards of like 3 hours, and with that power bank that I showed you before, I can shoot. So far I haven't ran out of. I've shot all day and I haven't had a problem. I've even charged my phone off of it while I'm shooting and stuff like that. No problems there. I keep the cord for the cable for the power bank just attached straight to the cage, so that when I need to go from the Ronin over to, just say, the monopod, all I have to do is unplug this, which is a little hard to do. I use a screwdriver. I just pop a little screwdriver in there, slide the collar back on the cable, pop it off, pop the other one on, take this off the quick release, and if I had bought the NATO rail connection, I would be able to clamp that on without any Allen wrenches. But so 2 Allen screws, this connection, pop it off, it's ready to go. Put it on my makeshift monopod. Lenses, this lens, I have used the other lenses that I brought with me, but I'm finding this lens right in the 14 to 10 millimeter works great. The filter, sometimes I'm shooting in very low light, I don't even need the filter. A lot of times my presets basically are all 400 ISO, and then if I need to change it, I do. I like it. I don't know, I'm trying to think of anything else I can say about it to put in this video for part 2, but for me, this camera seems to be the right camera for this gimbal, for my hobby use, and it's maybe for some people to start out for their first cinema camera, they want to go down with the 4K, was a lot cheaper, but I said maybe I'll spend a little extra money for this one. I wanted the full Super 35 sensor. I didn't want to have to use lens adapters. I'm not a big fan of micro four thirds. I know a lot of people are. With my Canon cameras, I pretty much always shoot full sensor because I like the creamy bokeh and everything like that, and the way it pairs well with the EF lenses. Although this is an EFS lens, just to be clear on that. But that was why I didn't go with the cheaper one. I went with this, the 6K. I love it. I absolutely love it. And let me turn it off here. When I have mounted the GPS module for the Ronin, I forgot to bring it with me. So normally I have a hot shoe mount and I mount it up, but I just forgot to bring that. Couldn't remember everything. Hey, if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. Sorry that I cannot show you any cinematic sequences that I'm shooting right now because I just don't have a way to read B-raw and put it into the phone to edit it. The app that you can get costs you money for the Blackmagic. I think it's like $7, but I can't get a live view. You get all the controls for the camera, but I can't get a live view from that. And I wish Blackmagic would change that. Anyway, if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and come back again. Once I'm back from Thailand, I'll start editing and I'll get some stuff up. Meanwhile, here is a little bit of footage. This was my very first video that I shot with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema. I got this about a month before I came on this trip. And this was my very first video of my 2 dogs and my wife. And unfortunately, the little Bichon in the video is not with us anymore. She was critically injured, and it made the video kind of extra special. But this was my very first attempt at shooting with a 70 to 200 in 120 frames per second. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this video.